What's up, everyone? Matt Savoca here from Awesemo.com, bringing you the FanDuel Sunday Night Football Top 5 Plays. This is Packers versus Bears. This is one of the oldest rivalries in football. Should be a great game despite the Packers having a clear advantage, nearly 2 touchdown favorites. Still, before we get into things, I'd like to ask you to like this video and subscribe to the channel so that you guys always know when we're going live. You guys know what to do. And if you could give me a follow on Twitter, I'm at Draftaholic. That would always be much appreciated. And finally, I'd like to thank our presenting sponsor, No House Advantage. You can check out the promo there at the bottom of the screen. They are offering player props picks for all the major sports. And if you use promo code Awesemo, you can get a first match deposit bonus up to $25. So definitely take advantage of that. Okay, on the screen, you see numbers 10 through 6 of my top plays here. Starting at number 10, it's Cole Kmet, tight end for the Bears. Number 9, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, having an increased role of late in the Packers offense. And number 8, Allen Robinson, finally expected back after a multi-week absence. Number 7, it's his partner on the outside, wide receiver Darnell Mooney, having a great 2021 season, if you can count anyone on the Bears as having a great 2021 season. And number 6 is backup running back for the Packers, A.J. Dillon. None of them make my top 5 plays for tonight. Who do? Let's find out. Number 5, it's Justin Fields. Yes, it is very, very strange to see a quarterback this low on a top 5 rankings list, especially on FanDuel in a single game slate. But Justin Fields, there's a lot of question marks heading into this one. Obviously, he's been injured for the last few weeks, hasn't played since week 11, but there were some bright spots in week 10 against Pittsburgh. We saw 291 passing yards, clearly his best game as a pro, and 10 yards per attempt in that contest. He was up at 7.2 yards per attempt when he got hurt against Baltimore. So we could possibly see a more improved Justin Fields. He gets to greater than 25 fantasy points in 15.4% of our simulations. He's a quarterback on a single game slate. You can always play him, but he's only in that optimal lineup looking like about 38% of the time. Number 4, it's David Montgomery, running back for the Chicago Bears. And bottom line, when David Montgomery has been healthy, he has been the bell cow, especially since he returned from injury in week 9. Listen to the snap share counts: 75% last week, but 84%, 93% over the last few weeks, clearly getting the most work in this offense. And he's getting over 17 opportunities in most of our simulations here. This is a fantastic spot for David Montgomery. If we don't like the quarterback here in this down matchup, we do like the running back. You know, he's probably going to be playing from behind, but we expect lots of dump off passes here for the Chicago offense. It's the number 21 offense versus the number 8 defense via PFF, but still, we think that David Montgomery can get there as a floor play. He's also got a solid ceiling, over 25 in 19% of our simulations. Number 3, it's starting running back Aaron Jones. The Green Bay Packers have 2 solid running backs in A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, but it's still Jones who has that number 1 spot on the depth chart when healthy. Still, it's been an up and down year for Jones. He's had as many as 41 fantasy points this year in that week 2 explosion against Detroit, but he's had multiple games under 5 fantasy points. Last week, 2.3 fantasy points, disastrous for players who started Jones. Still, there's a ton of upside here. You can expect around 12 opportunities to be his floor, but if he's healthier this week than when we last saw him, then we could possibly see him get back up to that 60, maybe even 70% snap share. And if that's the case, even at a pretty lofty salary, 13,000 on FanDuel against the number 28 defense by PFF, I mean, Aaron Jones could have a field day here. Look at that distribution of outcomes. It's kind of wild here. There's definitely some volatility, but he's getting to over 25 fantasy points over 30% of the time. That's why he's in the optimal lineup. 44%, a really quality spot here, but of course there is some downside with Aaron Jones. Number 2, it's Davante Adams. Yeah, this is the most obvious, highest floor, highest ceiling skill position player in this game by a long shot. This offense is rated number 11th by PFF, but really, if you're counting just the Aaron Rodgers games, you know this offense's potential is much higher than the 11th best offense in the NFL. And the Chicago defense, wow, fallen off a cliff, especially over the last few years. Davante Adams is getting to over 25 fantasy points in over 35% of our simulations. He is a coin flip chance at being in the optimal lineup, and that's because the target floor is like running back level high. 9 targets, 8 targets, 11 targets, 14 targets in his last 4 games here. He could easily get in the end zone twice in this single game slate. I absolutely love Davante Adams, but he's not quite at number 1. And before we get into our final play, our number 1 play on FanDuel for this Sunday Night Football Packers versus Bears matchup, just want to remind you guys to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and maybe comment below about which of these have been your favorite, maybe your least favorite plays for tonight's game. And thanks again to our presenting sponsor, No House Advantage. Use promo code Awesemo to get a $25 first match deposit bonus. All right, into number 1. You guessed it, the number 1 play here on FanDuel is Aaron Rodgers. Often seen quarterbacks, especially favorites at nearly 2 touchdown favorites. Yeah, their quarterback is going to be the number 1 play here, especially when it's Aaron Rodgers. We know what he's capable of. He hasn't had the best season of his career, especially compared to last season, but still, in the advanced metrics, he still looks like one of the elite players at his position. He's number 6 in true passer rating, number 4 in expected points added, and number 5 in total QBR. So truly, even with that toe injury he sustained, he's at an elite level when you look at things. So the production could absolutely be here against one of the worst defenses in the NFL. I mean, he's getting to over 25 fantasy points in 42% of our simulations. And look at that floor, less than 10 fantasy points in just 13.8% of sims. This is such a good spot. Obviously, the salary is high, but Aaron Rodgers is a smash play tonight against the Bears. And that's going to do it for the FanDuel Week 14 Sunday Night Football Top 5 plays. Yeah, this one could get out of hand early. Not the biggest total in the world, 43 points, but I'm still excited for this one. Tons of great plays. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel. I'm Matt Savoca at Draftaholic on Twitter. We will be back next week. And if you're looking for the DraftKings version, you can definitely find it around this channel here. We'll talk to you guys next time.